The line has to be drawn here, this far and no further!
Hey everyone, Mikey here, and welcome to another build video, where today I am showcasing my theme build on the Tier 6 Fleet Lafayette class, or better known as the New Orleans class. I've always had a soft spot for this ship. It is probably one of my favorite non-canon ships that has ever appeared in the Star Trek universe. I wish this ship did get some more screen time, because the overall design is a perfect mix, and the progression from the Ambassador class to the Galaxy and Nebula class. The ship was used to test all the new systems that were going to be implemented in both those classes, and I've taken that idea and ran with it with a theme of a post-Wolf 359, and used this ship as a test bed for some of the weapon technologies that will be featured in the Defiant and Steamrunner class. So let's take a look at the build. Because I am going for a TNG era theme, I'm using the Agony phasers. I'm using the arrays mainly because that's what I had handy, and in my opinion, that era beam banks weren't going to be equipped on a ship of this class. I'm also using the prolonged engagements. Again, it is a TNG era phaser visual and sound. Now this one's a little bit of an oddball. The quad cannons, which come from one of the Defiant variants, but I'm using this because of the mission pods that this ship has. So in my mind, one of the mission pods would have the prototype for the cannon, so this ship would be one of the test beds for it. Now in Star Trek Online, single cannons are, well, garbage. So I use the quad cannons because they have the authentic sound from Deep Space Nine. Plus I really like them. Deflector, impulse, warp core, shield, standard for beam overload. Using the Trilithium Omni just to have an Omni, and because yeah, it's a TNG era phaser. And using the console to get the two-piece because it's too good to pass up for the extra haste. For the experimental weapon, I hemmed and hawed as to which one to use, and I finally decided to use the experimental slam shot. It's not the best experimental weapon out there, and it comes from the Smuggler's Escort, which is why I chose to use it. That ship did come from a TNG era, and to me it kind of made sense, and it fit in better than some of the other experimental weapons in the game. Of course, you have to use the Lorca's custom fire controls. It's too good of a console to pass up even on a theme build. Using the reinforced engineering, again, part of the two-piece with the Omni. Using the hyper-focusing trinary arrays, which comes from this ship, so that's why I chose to slot it. Probably doesn't fully fit the theme, but then again, you know what, when you're doing a theme build, it's totally up to you what to use, and don't let anyone tell you what not to use. Play the game your way. I'm using the Bio-Neuro. Yes, at this time, TNG didn't even know what Alachi were, but again, crit severity, and it doesn't have any effects, so that's why another reason I chose it. I didn't want to have too many effects going on, so this one just being a passive console fits that theme. The Quantum Warhead Module from the Tier 6 Defiant, I believe. This is on here because, as I said before, this ship is testing the new weapon platforms with the mission pods, and to me this is the early version of the quantum torpedoes. Using the Tricobalt Tear from the Tier 6 Appalachia or Tier 6 Steamrunner. I love this console, too good to pass up, and because the Steamrunner is one of many anti-Borg ships being developed post-TNG, it seemed fitting that you would still have to test the weapons, and this ship would be a good test bed for it. Domino, because it's beam overload, and yeah, you can't turn down that cycle haste and all the other good stuff that console comes with. And of course a bunch of locators for the crit. Again, passive consoles that don't have effects. Traits, I didn't really do much. It's pretty much all standard beam overload. You've seen these traits before. Most of them don't really have many visual effects, so that's why I kept them. So not really going to spend too much time. Again, this is pretty much meta beam overload and pretty much my standard loadout. For stations, it's a little bit different. Not exactly what you would go with for a normal beam overload, but I thought, you know what, it's got to have a little bit of fun too. And also have to take advantage of as many unconventional systems procs as possible, and I managed to squeeze 5 into this build, which is actually very good for a tactical ship. So using override subsystem safeties, extra power levels, especially for beam overload, can never go wrong with that. Viral Impulse Burst, it's a Yukon proc. Torpedo Spread 3, because I'm using the Prolonged Torpedo, which is a TNG era looking photon, and in my mind, the spread was more important. Like we always saw the Galaxy firing off. So I figured because this ship was testing even back in the early days of the Galaxy's development, that the torpedo launches would be the same. Chemosite Lace weaponry, because again, it's too good to turn down. Attack pattern beta can never have enough debuffs. Of course, beam overload 3, which is the key to this build. And I'm using cannon rapid fire 3 because I'm only using one cannon, and it made sense. And plus, again, you get that really cool sound effect from that cannon. Because I had nothing else really good enough to put here, I put a beam fire at will. Again, that was a ability and tactic we did see on screen a few times. Emergency power to weapons, the extra power, damage, and to proc emergency weapon cycle. Again, must have for beam overload. Emit unstable warp bubble, strictly for the Yukon proc. And then science, again, all Yukon procs, jam targeting, scramble sensors, and photonic shockwave. The jam sensors and the scramble sensors, I believe, would be abilities that you could use in TNG, even though we never really saw it. Photonic shockwave, yeah, that one's probably not 100% to the theme, but you know what, like I said, you build your ships how you want, and it's never going to be perfect. Just have fun. So yeah, I have to say, I really, really enjoy this ship. It's a lot of fun to fly. The main reason I did get it is because this ship, both the console and the trait that come from the ship, are meta for your support builds. So that's the main reason I got this ship, and I do not regret it because it's a lot of fun to fly. If you haven't already got one of these, if you have the ability to, I do recommend it. It's a fun little ship. It's not going to break any records, but it's a nice looking ship, and yeah, I just can't say enough good things about this ship. So now we're going to go to the ISE that I did the other night, and then we'll see you at the parse explanation. So there was the ISE, and as you can see, I'm on my main character, Lim, and this build, 391k DPS. For a theme build, that is outstanding. Of course, we have our good friend Megla, who is on one of his supports, so yeah, the numbers are probably inflated a little bit. Good friend JB tanking, and he did a phenomenal job. 86% attacks in, 87 damage in. Very good. And we had Captain H, a friend of ours. 200k, not too bad. And our good friend and streamer Grumpy Old Nord, who did 578k. And damn, Grumpy, you are getting better and better. Good job, man. Max one hit at 2.8 million. Damn. So yeah, going to my build, yeah, 391k for a beam overload with arrays and not banks, and it being a theme build. Yeah, I was shocked. Looking at the breakdown, of course, the arrays on overload, 87k, not a surprise there. And that's also what had the max one hit, which that surprised me, but yeah, this build is a lot better than I was expecting. The quad phasers under rapid fire did 44k. That's a single phaser. Outstanding. And then 24k just normal firing. So 68k from a single cannon. Yeah. It's surprisingly good. The other thing that surprised me is the slam shot. 19k, that did a hell of a lot better than I was expecting. I had very low expectations for that weapon, but yeah, let's just say it did much better than expected. The Tri-Cobalt Tears 12k, the Prolonged Torpedo 10k, under normal fire, under spread 34k. Again, it's a bit better than I was expecting. Did manage to steal someone's concentrate firepower, so yeah, that's always fun. The Warhead Module, yeah, a little, yeah, it just 1800, 1500, 1100, yeah, it's not a great console. It does have the potential for very high single hits, but it's a spike damage console, so you're not going to get a lot of prolonged damage out of it. But it fit the theme, so, and then everything else pretty much normal. So yeah, 391k on a theme build on a very underrated tier 6 ship. So there we have it. That's the build and the parse. And yeah, 300k plus for a theme build is outstanding. Like I said before, I just can't say enough good things about this ship. I do strongly believe it is one of the most underrated ships in the game. To me, it checks all the right boxes. It has the looks, it flies well, seating's versatile, and the performance is very good. I just want to say thank you very much again for watching. You know, please do all those YouTube things, you know, comment, like, and subscribe. I'm really trying to get to 100 subs. And a very special thank you to my good friend JB, who helped me with the title card. Thanks a lot, buddy. If you guys haven't checked him out, please do. The link to his YouTube channel is down below. So until the next video, I hope everyone has a fantastic day. Bye-bye for now.